Coming up on the next episode. Good early afternoon to you all YouTube. It is 12:23 now on this Saturday here at the bench once more. I am using excuse me, I am using the Play Sport camera to video this new Zi8 camera that I received in the mail yesterday. This is the complete the whole package that I did receive. I got the camera, the USB charger. I say USB because it has a USB port on the end, and this plugs into that and then plugs into the camera with this little thing here. Now I did not use the this charger to charge it yet, so I haven't tested it, but I did use the USB enclosed, and it does, you have a USB on this camera, much similar to the Zi8. You'd basically just pop it out like that, and then there it goes. I always have an extension USB cable that I plug into there by my chair, and I use that to connect to these cameras and things, and that's how I did that. So there you go, that was that. These are a little bit difficult to get up. You have to kind of go over that way, then up, and then that works like that. Now the camera does work well. I did a short video yesterday, a short test with it. I will be using that after I wanted to show the camera first. The condition it was in is in actually pretty good condition. It's got some smears on it there from me. But anyway, that's what it looks like. And again, there's the macro landscape switch on top. There is the external microphone jack there. That is the charging port there. Under this little tab here, you can pull this up. That's the HDMI out, and the component video output there as well. And so that's that. Now on the other side is the battery and not the battery. I'm sorry, not the battery. The video what is it? The SD card. I couldn't think of what it was called. But yeah, that's on the other side, and I really don't know. I guess push down on this. Maybe not. Oh, I know. It goes, you flip it up like this. There you go. There you go. There's your video card right there. Your SD card. And I think there's a 4 gig card this came with. I will probably end up putting a bigger one on if I use this camera, which it looks like I am, because I think it's going to work out pretty good. Now to get the battery out of it, you slide this off like this, and there is the battery inside there. So this is very similar to the Play Touch as far as how it's laid out and stuff like that. Now obviously it does not have a touch screen. If we turn it on here, you can see, well, I guess I didn't get it. There it goes. There you go. It comes up with this screen here. You just choose whichever resolution you want, and that goes away if you don't want to make a different choice. If you just want to take what's there, which is 720 at 30 frames for this, and again you just hit your now this one has a little bit different way of doing things. You just press that to record, or you can hit one of these buttons here. Now that's what we're on right now, or no, this is what we're on right now, the camera. This is the playback. As you can see, there's nothing in there now to play back. This is the settings here, date, time, all that stuff, everything that you would have in there. Now to move your instead of, now most of the Kodak cameras have this ring here, and you press on the ring to go up or down or whatever, but this one has a little joystick. You just basically move it over like that, and it moves around like that, and so that's how you do that. So, and there's your level for the microphone. You can see it does change when you talk. You can make it go up, which I like mine up a little bit like that. This is the electronic stabilization, image stabilization, and that's checked as is in working, on or off. So there you go. Keep going like this, and there's your that keeps your image of your person's face or whatever in the center or whatever. That's your format for the card, and there's your information and also how you update the firmware. So there you go. That's a look at that real quick, and as you can see, I do have it set correctly, so that's good. So turn that off, and it goes off in the typical way for the Kodak cameras. So there you go. That's a look at it, and like I say, I am going to be switching to that for the rest of this video, and we'll see how it looks. And I am going to be on 720 at 30 frames, and we'll go from there. So stand by. Alright, we have switched to the different camera now. We are using the Kodak Zi8, and this is the PlaySport. I thought it turned it off. I guess I didn't. Now, I did take Bill's, or I am using Bill's little advice there on how to disable the sensing port, or whatever you want to call that. And I don't know if it's going to make a difference yet. I haven't really tried it. Now, this camera here seems to work better when you... Now, follow along a minute. This is how this thing works. You charge up the battery, you put the battery in, the camera doesn't work. You let it sit for a while, and when I say a while, I'm saying 15-20 minutes. Turn it on, it works. Now, I don't know why, but maybe it has something to do with that sensing port. I don't know, but I'm going to put a picture in that I took of this before we started using it this morning. And you can see very clearly that I have a black tape across that center port, the T port, whatever that is. I guess that's the sensing port. And the camera does work with that covered, obviously, because I took the video before this with this. And I'm just going to leave that in there and see if that works, and then we will know one way or the other. And so there you go. I think you can see the, well, maybe not. I thought maybe you could see, that the light from the Kodak, or from the Zi8, it is shining. But again, let's turn this on, make sure it works. There you go. It comes right back up. No problem at all. So again, I'm gonna try this out and see if that does work, and if it does, I'll leave it on there because I don't care, you know. I haven't tried, obviously, the charging on this to do that, but we will try that as well and report on that. So that's that. Now you've seen. Now here's the new battery I got with this charger that I bought for that. And now you can see this is I believe 1100 milliamp hour. I don't know if it says that on there. Oh yeah, there it is, 1100 milliamp hour right there. So I used it to make a long video, well, not a long video, but that video I believe the other day I made with it. But this has the same 3 ports, and you can see it says, I think it's a T from what I can see, but I have that covered on the other one, so we'll see how we'll see how that turns out. Hopefully it will work, because again, I use this. I was going to use this battery this morning, but when I turned the camera on, it would not work. So I don't know if it drains the battery. Now that's a possibility. There may be a problem in the camera that drains the battery. That's a very, very good possibility. It may stay on, some internal circuit may stay on or something like that and cause the battery to go down. I don't know. I have not tried to see what the charge level is on this battery. But again, we will do that. So this morning I have been watching you know who. See if I can get him up here. Ah, yeah. That's William, the well-known and renowned nature photographer and videographer. Better known as the old 64 goat. Him and his son Tommy went out for coffee at their local McDonald's. and he was doing a little bit of flapping there, and he also included the footage at the end of the praying mantis, which you know, those are some big bugs. So that's what he's up to, and let's get back down here and show you what I've been up to. Now, you've already seen this in the video, but I did have a request to play it, and I'm going to do that right this moment. I will add it to the end or something like that, because I've got other things I want to do on this video. So, also I had requests to go when I do this, to go through this radio by RW Radio Wild, and he requested to see it, and I will do that, and that's coming up soon, I hope. And again, this is a unique thing. Now, I did have a suggestion to use shoe goo on this, and I'm going to try that because I have some shoe goo, and I use it on my shoes, my tennis shoes, or whatever you call them, walking shoes, whatever they call it. But it has lasted me for over a year, I know, probably longer than that. But it has held up well on that, so hopefully that will work. If not, I did find some other suggestions for leather work, so that's going to be good. That should fix that, I hope. And let's see, now this is the other project I'm going to be working on today. I was going to work on this yesterday, and I got busy doing some other stuff and did not get to do it. So let me back up here. I want to also test the macro function on this, and I hope to do that, but I want something that's going to make a difference when you look at it. You could look closely at this, and you're really not going to see much, I don't think. But again, I do want to do that, so that will be coming up on this video as well, I do believe. I will at least show part of the work I do as far as cutting holes and putting this transformer, wiring it up and getting it attached and all that stuff, and hopefully at the end we will see a finished product. And again, this will be on one end like that, and the other item will be on the other end like that. So again, those there's our goal for today, and we'll see how that turns up. When I say today, I'm talking about this video. Now, it may be tomorrow before I get done with it. You never can tell. Again, the other item I have to show you, let me show you that. Let me get some of this out of the way. It's always something with all the crap I've got on this bench. And then I put things out of the way just to get more room to show you what I want to show you. And then I forget what I do with the rest of it. So you guys know how that is. Bob is out to breakfast this morning with his ex, and I guess that's okay to call her his ex, but they are probably seeing one another, as it were. Let me back you up a little bit. These are from Walmart.com, and there are 6 of them. I picked these up because they were cheap. They are Go Green, which I really don't care about that, but I don't care if it's Go Purple. They were cheap. It's $3.26 a piece. These are 6 outlet, and they're not surge protectors, they're just power strips. Well, I take that back. Well, I did not notice that. These are surge protectors. Wow, that is a good price. I don't know how good they are, but again, I don't really care about that. I just wanted some power strips to wire the bench up, and that's why I bought them. One of them will go behind here, this panel here, and you'd be used to power all these devices here, and probably 2 of them will go on that side of the bench over there, and at least 1 or 2 over on this side of the bench over here. Maybe 1 for the lighting, I don't know yet. But anyway, the whole purpose of this is to be able to plug these in to wiring that I will make with the wires that I bought, the 14 and 16 gauge wire that I bought, and that is going to be plugged into each one. I have I think I pointed out the ends little extension cord ends that have just a single outlet on them. Those will be used to finish the wiring into this. In other words, these will plug into those, and each circuit will be on a switch over there on the right end by the window, somewhere near there, and be a circuit box with all the switches that I can control individually. In other words, if I want to turn off, say, if I have on the other bench the let's see, something that is not easily controlled. Well, you know, we'll just say the MFP. Say I want to disable the MFP for whatever the reason. I can turn that switch off and it turns off everything on the MFP. And nothing works. There's no electricity going to it. There's no interference coming from it. That's the main thing, I think, is because there's going to be a lot of switching power supplies behind here to power things, and again, that makes a difference. So we're going to do that, and that's what these are all for. And this is how I wanted to do this, and I wanted to do this with my other one, but the other bench was just not that big. Now this one's just so much bigger that I think this will, you know, come in handy as far as getting, you know, enough to where I can individually control everything. And there will still be one master switch. In other words, when I come into the room to work on something or whatever, I turn the master switch on, and then unless I have turned something else off individually, everything should come on. The lights, power going to test equipment, all that stuff should come on. And again, if I need to shut it off all at once, it's easy to do. Just turn the master switch off. That shuts the power off to everything. And I like that because in case and I do this very often, leave my soldering iron on for extended periods of time, and then I walk away from the bench, and then I forget, you know, as long as I've got it hooked up to that master switch, I always turn that off when I leave the bench. And I may not make put the master switch over there. I've been thinking about that. I think in the dark it would be easier to put it over on this left side, because I walk into the room on that side, and there'd be, you know, I can just flip a switch over here by this filing cabinet underneath, and or end, what do you want to call that, and turn off everything, or turn on everything, I should say. And that might be a better way to go, I think. I don't know, we'll see. But that's just a thought I'm having on that, and again, that's just what I'm probably going to contemplate over the next few days, because I want to get started on this. Want to get that transformer thing done. Again, the box I built, get that done. I want to get this done over here for the last piece of the puzzle here on the MFP. I want to get my end pieces in. Now these end pieces I'm making for here may, and I say may, I don't know, be replaced by other things later on. For right now though, I just want the end pieces covered, or the ends covered, and get it all, you know, fairly nice looking console type thing, and that will be nice. And again, I don't know what I'm putting in this other part there. Get the ZX1 out of the way. That obviously doesn't take up that much room. In other words, if I push that down here next to that one, you can see I have probably a good what, 2-3 inches there, 2 inches at least of space that's not being utilized. So I've got to come up with something to go there, and I think for the time being I probably, and I'm not going to make it on part of this because I don't want to be able to have to cut it down or anything like that. I'm just going to go ahead and make this in the right size and put that in and be done with that. Then I'll make a filler panel in for this, and just put the filler panel in for now until I decide, if I decide whether I want to put something else in there. The only other thing I'm thinking about right now is a USB set of USB outlets to either plug in things to charge or plug in things for, well, other purposes, I guess, but power things, I guess. But you could easily, you know, plug in something that requires 5 volts and use that. And you know, that's another thing. I've been thinking about doing a selectable type thing. I've got that this thing here that offers Well, it offers 9 volts from the source, and it offers 5 volts from the buck converter, and it offers 3.4 or whatever that is coming out of there that will power the DMM. So there's 3 different voltages right there I could have if I needed them to power something else. So eventually I will have the 970, the BK 970 on the other side, and it will be basically on the end, I think, like the HP will be on the other end. And that's another thing I need to work on, is getting those ends done, because right now the only thing they're doing is holding a bunch of junk, and I want to get that changed around and get that back in where it should be, and go from there. So there's a look at what I'm trying to, you know, all this stuff is kind of going around my head, and it you know, it is what it is, but you know, at the same time I'm thinking about all this. Also, I'm thinking about paint, because of the background of the DMM there is a different color than the rest of it, and I'm thinking about painting all of those things. Then again, I'm thinking, well, you know, maybe just paint that one black and be done with it. So that would be the easy way to do it, and I'm thinking about doing that, so you never can tell. Now, I do have enough black, I think, left to print this last pieces here. Back over here again, we're talking here. Follow along, camera. The image, or the plates for this, the bezels, what do you want to call them, for this part, and get that done. I think I have enough black filament left, and I think if I have to switch, it's going to be white, and so again I'd have to paint those, but not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. It's just a inconvenience. How's that? Now, along with this device here, there's going to be 3 sets of these. And I'm just talking about the black part. I'm talking about the yellow behind it. 3 sets of those jacks. Again, the same as I had on my other bench. That will allow me to either plug something into the amp, in other words, to be amplified by this, or to plug in something to the speakers, which will be connected to one of them. Or the other one is the output of this. So I'll have all 3 jacks sets there for that. So I can test. That allows me to test speakers, if I want to test the speakers with the output of that. If I want to test something that needs an input, some kind of amp, a circuit amp, a preamp, whatever you want to say, I can use that to test that. And then the speakers obviously should be fairly obvious on how they are tested. Plus the other thing about the input is you can take, like if you're working on stereo component system or something like that, and you want to test the audio, or not the audio out, but the line out as far as the monitors are concerned or something like that, you can plug that into that and test that as well. Just a lot of different ways, just a lot of different things that can be used with those inputs and outputs, and I think that's a good thing. And then I have my little jumper wires that normally will go from the output of this to the speakers, and that way I can listen to whatever I want to listen to on that. Now, the only part I haven't done or figured out yet is the antenna, and I'm right now leaning towards just a clip lead attached to the antenna running out here like I had before. And if I use something like that, then that will work just fine, and I won't have to mess with taking that all apart and putting wiring in for that. So we'll see about that, but again, that's just what I'm thinking about on the things that I'm got going here. So let me end this here, and I'm going to work on the other 2 parts of this. One of which is getting that transformer mounted into its box, and the other is to come up with a little demo of the LM386 box and see how that sounds. So stay tuned. Good evening, YouTube. It is still on Saturday. It is 7:57 now in the PM. As you can see, I do have this device finished. 6 volts down, 12 volts up, on off right there, and we're going to measure that, make sure it's working. Red part there come out. That is on. So now we'll put one lead there. Let's get this a little closer. I just haven't got enough room here. You wouldn't hardly hear me say that at all, would you? Normally. So there you go. Oops, I'm sorry, I was wrong. It's 12 volts down, 6 volts up. So there's your 12 volts, 14.10. we flip it up, 7.04. Now obviously again, this is not a regulated. In fact, this is just straight up a transformer. So this is filament voltage, and like I say, it's designed to obviously go down some once you put some filament bulbs in string. And like I say, so that's the way that works. So you can see it works rather well. I'm very happy with it. Very happy indeed. It came out as good or better than I thought it would. So can't go wrong there. Let me turn this off. It's a short cord. Now I don't have a long cord on this because I have it figured that it's going to be on this bench, and there's the length of the cord. Let me back up a little bit. You can see not very long. And like I say, that's just enough to plug in here. It's not a polarized plug. There is absolutely no sense of putting a polarized plug on there. This happened to be one I had on an old clock that quit working, and I just figured this was the best use for it. I could have made it a little longer, wouldn't have hurt anything, but you know, I think it's fine. So there you go, there's that. And let me take a close-up, a little closer look of it. If we can here, there's again the up is 6, down is 12, on, off, output. Very simple. Backside, you've already seen it, but there's my place where I brought the UL approved knot behind there, and it won't pull out. Probably pull the plastic off where it pulls the knot through. So there you go, there's the way it looks. It's in there good and tight, and I'm very, very pleased with it. Again, that's what that turned out to be. And so it will sit up on the shelf somewhere until it's needed. I really anticipate rarely needing this, but it will be there if I do, and that's the whole purpose of it. And I just felt like, you know, cluttering up the MFP with it would be probably overkill. I don't think it really is going to be that useful in being used a lot. I may be wrong, but again, it's there if I need it. I can get it down off the shelf, plug it in, it's ready to go. That's all there is to it. It's just that easy. So, very happy about it, and so that's about it. Next thing up on the agenda is going to be listening to our little 386, LM386 amplifier. I was surprised at how well this thing sounds. Of course, that's a lot of function of the speaker I put in there. And I did put a fairly, not large, but I mean a fairly decent speaker with a decent magnet on it. And so, like I say, it works pretty good. It's got a little bass to it. So we'll hear that in just a minute. So stand by.